Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you uh, an interesting video. I'll be honest, it might be as short as the units that we are talking about today. Ripper swarms. I have definitely been shouting from the mountaintops to include Ripper swarms in your list. They have been included in some list with results. I thought that we should be doing that in assimilation swarm. Apparently, according to Scott and Kenneth, we should be doing that possibly in general. So, I didn't really catch this the last time I looked at Kenneth's list in Crusher Stampede, and now we have Scott joining the Ripper Swarm inclusion with Ex-Wife Took the Nidge in Invasion Fleet. So first going to Kenneth, who I think I last looked at this list and said, okay, yeah, checks out Triple Norn. And then when I saw this result, I said, oh yeah, I know what the list is. Cool. Completely missing that it looks like the Lictor got downgraded into 2 Ripper Swarms. And that was pretty darn good to get forth at the Rocky Mountain Open. And now, it seems that we don't miss the Lictor for again Crusher Stampede to include Ripper Swarms for a first place result. Ripper Swarms. I've been talking about them for, of course, Assimilation Swarm, where it's hard for things to go wrong. They either do the thing that you want them to do by getting you points, regenerating something, or triggering probably Broodguard Impulse and Assimilation Swarm. But I guess we're taking it back to the ye olden times of the start of 10th edition, where OC didn't really matter. So you had the Fenrisian Wolves, the Space Wolves doing little shits, our Rippers and Biovore Spore Mines doing shits, and cough cough, we still do that. That's why we can't escape taking Biovores. Um, so we still do that. But apparently on the horizon, maybe, just maybe, maybe Kenneth has something here. Drop the Lictor, 2 Ripper Swarms. And I'll be happy if that's the case, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I don't think I've made it any secret on this channel. I feel that we over rely on the Lictors. I'm just not high on them. Maybe it's the like hipster in me that's just like, we're all taking them, guys. Just put them down. There's something else. Maybe that's what it is for me. Maybe it's because I just don't like 120 points to score maybe 4 points here and there when we have decent enough ways to score. We're Tyranids. That's kind of what we do. That's just my own personal gripe, I guess. I've kind of not repeated that through videos so many times because, you know, that Lictor still has things to do, right? It still can infiltrate. It can still punch something, possibly take out a character. But I think maybe there's a slim chance that Kenneth agrees with me that maybe we don't need Lictor shenanigans to get ahead. Maybe this can be 2 Ripper Swarms and 10 points to spare and still work out with it, right? We're still getting results with it. And now coming over here to Scott's list, sorry, I keep chuckling every time I read the name. Not only there's a lot going on here that probably deserves a longer video for this list in by itself. With Barb Gaunts coming out, last time we saw those, I believe, was Matt Laura, Vanguard Onslaught. Believe ran that list again recently. Can't remember what event that was. Um, or something similar. I don't remember if there was as many Barb Gaunts. But recently, Matt Laura had Barb Gaunts in the list for Vanguard Onslaught again. But, you know, there's still Lictors in this one. And there's now a Ripper Swarm. So, and then here's the other thing that's like, well, didn't even decide to make it just some free points and an enhancement for the Neurotyrant. Like, I would guess you do something along the lines of re-roll one of the rolls, right? Like that's what I would imagine. But apparently that just you can't beat a Ripper Swarm past that. Um I guess you don't need Synaptic Linchpin in like any sense of it, especially on a Neurotyrant, but and the redeploy is like 30 points still, right? Yeah, the redeploy is still 30 points. So, 5 points away from a redeploy. Double down on Barbgon. Still has Biovores, still has Lictors, and then a one Ripper Swarm. Now, for most people, this is probably just a list filler. Probably what happened here, I would imagine, right? But now I have to start thinking about if it's not. If somebody finds this and there's a way that it is not just a points filler and this is dedicated, like at the same time, this isn't a way to find Pyrivore in the list. Like that's 110 points. I can do math, right? Hooray for me. 135 points between Rippers and Barbgaunts that I don't know. I would assume we do the typical single Pyrivore somewhere or something like that. It's Lictors here. So one part of me wants to believe in my heart of hearts that it was not just a points filler and that we're following in Kenneth's footsteps over here where it's intentional somehow, some way. And now I want to discuss if it's intentional, what it could mean. And something else I got to thinking about. So, spore mines, we know them, we love them. We probably don't love them, but we know them a lot. We take them because we take the biophores. Our zero OC, much like Rippers. We've been doing this for a while, and I think it at this point stands that the reason that we're still taking 50 points in our list to produce one of these in a corner somewhere can score some points for cheap enough that it's still worth in the list. And spore mines start at 55. And there's reasons for this. Beyond the fact that taking one single one can get you points, like a Ripper can. 3 of these models, strung out, gives Bio Minefield. Now, mind you, you're not doing too much stringing here, but just saying, instead of one tiny 25 millimeter base, you have 3 of them. It has Bio Minefield where your enemy can't start or end an advance within 6 inches of this unit. And then Floating Death, of course, we know if the enemy gets too close, pop, here goes some mortals. Now, I don't think I'm ever going to suggest spending 55 points in your list for a unit of spore mines instead of, like, I don't know, anything really. Especially over a Pyrivore or Barbgons. Like, going back to it, that's Barbgons right there. Don't think I'm ever going to do that. But the other thing that has Bio Minefield that, funny enough, has been seen in the same detachment we see Rippers, if ever. Guys, please, if you could take the Rippers other places, please, come on. Assimilation Swarm, Bug Brethren, come on, we can do this. Maybe Mucolid Spores. Where did we see Mucolid Spores in Assimilation Swarm? Well, it was actually with the Spores producing them. 1 or 2 lists had it that, put out a Mucolid Spore, and once it goes pop, you can trigger the strat to regenerate something else if a harvester is nearby. That's cool. And Mucolid Spores, you could get 2 of them for the same points as a Lictor. I don't think I've ever realized this edition that Mucolid Spores are T4 with 3 wounds per model. Don't think I ever looked enough at that. They're movement 4. Ripper Swarms are movement 6, half the toughness with 1 more wound, and they can get a save, right? Spore Mines, 1 toughness 1, sorry, movement 4, 7 up save, 1 wound. So there's a discussion to be had about if Ripper Swarms can do it, do we consider writing lists with Mucolid Spores? Now, I imagine also that since it's 2000 even, that you really need the 10-point difference of the lictor, or else you would just take the lictor. That's what I would imagine. But I would also imagine, here's the other thing that I'm guessing, this is pure guess, speculation, okay? Ripper Swarm also, besides the points, giving you 10 points back, uh, from the lictors, there's a chance that a Ripper can complete the same action you would have used your Biovore Spore Mine to do, or sorry, not an action, complete the secondary that your Ripper, your Biovore Spore Mine was going to do. But because you send the Ripper over there, or Ripper Swarms, right, over there, your Spore Mine is free to be in a position to make use of Bio Minefield, in which the enemy cannot start or end and advance within 6 inches of this unit. And instead of paying 55 points for 3 models of it, is there a chance that you, just to be an asshole, put 30 points somewhere else because it's a separate thing, and now your opponent really can't advance the way they want it to between a Spore Mine and a Mucolid Spore? Because there's still some funky get-arounds of, Spore Mines, right? How about you make it harder with Mucolid Spore? And mind you, it's a single. We're bringing single Spore Mines because it's one Biovore, and the Biovores deploy Spore Mines based on number of them in the unit. We know how that works. Um, so I'm just wondering if there's a world. I again highly doubt this is the reasoning for it. I would assume it is literally points cut, 2000 on the dot, points filler, better than having leftover points enhancement on Neurotyrant. I guess, right? Like that's what I'm guessing from this. But if there is a world where the Rippers are genuinely giving more play, is there a world in which we genuinely think about taking Mucolid spores that are. The funny thing that I just thought about? A Mucolid spore is tougher than Eldari. Isn't like the Phoenix Lord's toughness 3? No, hold on. I have to see this real time. Because if that's the case, like, please tell me I'm misremembering a distance or something. Because there's no way, right? I've just never considered this. Fuegan, let's do Azerman, because you're the leader. Let's make it even funnier. Yes, oh my goodness. A Mucolid Spore is tougher than Azerman. Um, that's really funny. And I'm sorry that this video is going off the rails, but that's really funny to me. Like, if you say, alright, it's tougher than a guardsman, I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. The fact that it's tougher. Azerman is the first Phoenix Lord, right? Like, that's the one. That's really funny. That's, like, really funny to me. So, maybe we start deep striking tougher than elf body Mucolid spores to do the secondaries, not actions. Sorry, got it. Can't confuse anybody with that. Do secondaries and block out movement with 3 wounds. It has 2 wounds less than Azure. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Like, what's the infantry again? Guardian Defender, sure. It is tougher and has more wounds than Guardian Defenders. Like, that's really funny to me. So, hey, uh, when there's Ripper Swarms, maybe there's a way. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.